If your low end sounds muddy and you're struggling to get that tight punchy bass that just hits right, in this video I'm gonna tell you 4 killer steps to absolutely nail your low end mix. By the end of this video, your kick and bass are going to work together like magic. Let's dive into it, and trust me, you don't want to skip anything because every step is crucial. First things first, we need to create some space in this area, the area where the kick and the bass are gonna be. In this project, as you can see, I have a lot of different sounds. We have the kick, hi-hats, claps, the bass line, ambient sounds, leads, chords, voices, a lot of things going on. So the first thing we need to do is to low cut everything that is not the kick and the bass. Yes, everything. The vocals, the synth, the guitars, everything. For example, on this ambient sound, as you can see, we have all of these. You don't hear it, but it's gonna be there. So do a low cut, start around 80-100 Hz, but don't be afraid of pushing harder if it's needed. For example, in this sound, we can go around here. So as you can see, we are removing all of this. Then, for example, the chords, as you can see, they don't have that much, but do it also. And maybe you're thinking, cutting everything, isn't that too extreme? Hold tight, because once we hit the step 3, you will understand why it's so crucial. Now we have a space for the kick and the bass, but if they share the same space at the same moment, it's gonna be messy. They're gonna clash, they're gonna fight for that place. We need to give a different moment for each one of them, and to do this, we're gonna use sidechain. And no, just using kickstart doesn't really help. I have this kick and this bass. Right now, they play at the same moment. If you use the exoscope, the kick is like this, and the bass is like this. But if they play together, as you can see, it's so chaotic, it's not clear. What we want to do is when the kick starts fading out, the bass starts fading in. Of course, you can use any sidechain plugin like Kickstart, Volume Shaper, LFO2, you can use a compressor or even just a volume automation. I'm going to use Volume Shaper because I can control better the waveform I want to use, and right now this is in the kick. As you can see, the kick ends around here, but what I want to do is kind of make it end here in the middle. So what I'm gonna do is make a waveform something like this, something natural for the kick. Oh, this is not natural. And then make sure it comes up before the next hit. This way, if there's a little bit of latency in the plugin, there's no problem, because the next attack right here is already gonna be at the top, so it's gonna sound good. Now that we have this, we're gonna send this same plugin to the sub bass. Here on the sub bass, I'm gonna right click and click on mirror on X axis. This is gonna flip it. Right now, if they put them together, as you can see, when this is fading out, this is fading in, so they never touch. But sometimes this is a bit too extreme. So what it is to make it a little bit softer on the sub bass, something like this maybe. So this was the waveform before, and if we check it now, as you can see, it's way more clear. We have here the kick and here the sub bass. The step 3 is just huge. The sub frequencies are just sine waves that go up and down. If you have one going up and another one exactly the same going down, what's happening is that they cancel each other out. If your kick and the sub bass are out of phase, they're gonna cancel each other, so you're gonna lose that fat low end punch. I'm gonna put a filter on the master to hear just the sub frequencies, and I'm gonna use Volume Shaper to see better the waveform. If we play it right now, as you can see, we have here the kick going up and down perfectly, and then when we reach the sub bass, what's happening here? Instead of going up and down, it's doing something weird. We want to have a perfect sine wave all the time. So how can we solve this? We just go to the preset, and here we have a phase knob, as you can see. When we touch it, as you can see, that peak is changing. So what we want is just change it until it's as perfect as possible. In this case, around 180 is perfect. And as you can see right now, the waveform looks like a normal sine wave without any weird things. But do you remember I told you low cutting everything was crucial? I have this synth that, as you can see, it has a lot of low end dirtiness here. So what we need is to low cut this. But why? If we don't low cut it and we put it together with the kick and the bass, happens this. We look at the waveform and it's always moving the whole time. As you can see, it's never steady like we had before. But if we just do a low cut in the synth, right now, as you can see, the waveform looks as before. Perfectly stable and with a perfect sine. This way the sub is as controlled as possible and is always gonna sound fat. And the step 4 is the icing of the cake. After doing everything else, you need to make sure the kick and the bass are not fighting for the place. Of course, if the sidechain is right, first we have the kick and then we have the sub bass, so they never touch each other, so they never fight for the place. But this is happening in a few milliseconds. It is that fast that our ears can perceive it like they are fighting a little bit. But this is so simple. Put an EQ in the kick and try to find the fundamental of the kick. If you use a plugin like G-Tune, you can see the frequency of the kick, and this can help a lot. It's at FE, so it's gonna be around here, and just kill it completely and see if it's this one. As you can see, we lose all the bass. So it's here. Now we go to the bass, we go to 43 Hz, and we reduce a little bit. You don't need to go crazy, just maybe it should be something like this is enough. Also, you can go to the next octave, so we go to the next F, that is 87. We also do it a little bit. And if you want to go even farther, you can take these two EQs, and instead of doing it like this, you do it in dynamic way, but with sidechain. Basically, this way you make sure that those frequencies are not that busy. And boom, your kick and sub bass are working together like best friends. Let me know in the comments which step was more helpful for you, and see you in the next video.